Hello and welcome to that football show here on YouTube, the YouTube channel for all things football. I'm Joe Stanley, and this week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Those of you who watch the channel regularly will know that I do match previews normally for selected Premier League games and selected Champions League and Cup games as well. Well, I'm going to continue doing the previews for the Champions League, selected Champions League games and the Cup games, but for the Premier League I'm going to do something a little bit different, and instead of previewing certain matches, I'm going to preview all the matches in one video. But before I do this, YouTube have asked people to at the start of their videos to ask people to subscribe to their channels. So it's a bit backwards to me, but I'm going to give it a go. So please subscribe to that football show here on YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and preview the games. I'm just going to give a quick score prediction and go into details for some teams and for some of the games. And we'll start off with the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Everton and West Ham United. Everton come into this game in the relegation zone, struggling ahead of this game, whereas West Ham come off the back of a defeat to Palace, but I've been doing okay in the league so far, battling for place in the top half of the table and knocking on the door of the top six. For this game, I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for West Ham United. It's a game normally goals, normally a draw between the two teams, but with Everton struggling defensively, I can see them getting a couple of goals because they normally get a goal or two at Goodison Park. West Ham's defence isn't exactly the sturdiest of defences, but their attack's good at the moment. And West Ham got 3 points last season at Goodison Park and a 3-1 win with Yarmolenko scoring twice, if I remember rightly. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to West Ham at Goodison Park. On to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Aston Villa versus Brighton. They played them recently in the Cup and winning down at the Amex. I think Aston Villa are doing okay. Well, they're doing quite well at home. I think defensively they're not the sturdiest, but they're coming into this game on the back of a 5-1 win away at Carrow Road. Brighton are coming into this after a 3-0 win against Tottenham, so both teams will be coming in this on a high. But I've got a feeling with Villa being at home that they're going to edge this game, and I think they'll win this one 3-1. On to Chelsea versus Newcastle. Chelsea, okay, they've got the transfer ban stuff, and Lampard's been they had a slow start to the season, but Lampard's team have built up recently. I think he's put a lot of the youngsters in. He's bred quite a few of the youngsters, and they're starting to click now with Mountain Abraham, getting a hat-trick the other week against Wolves. I think Newcastle have not been here or there. They struggled at the start of the season, but they had a little bit of a pick-up for a couple of games, and then they've dropped back down again. I think Chelsea will win this one 3-0. On to Leicester versus Burnley. It's a year since they lost their owner, Vichai Srivaddhanaprabha, in that accident at the King Power Stadium, helicopter accident. And my thoughts are with Leicester City, the club, the fans, the players, Vichai Srivaddhanaprabha's family, and everyone that was involved in the accident a year on. And I think going into this game, Leicester City will want to go and win for Vichai, and I think they will. I think they're coming into this game on the back of some good form. They were unlucky to lose at Anfield last week. Liverpool, they dominated for the most part, but Leicester City kept them out. Mane scored a brilliant goal on counter-attack, then they got their equaliser, wonderful goal by Maddison, and then they conceded a penalty late on that. Some people say controversial, but for me it was a penalty. I think Leicester will get back on track with a 2-1 win against Burnley, who have done okay so far this season, but they've not really set the world alight, let's be honest. They've not got back to the form of 2 seasons ago. I think, looking at Spurs, they play Watford. Spurs, last time, as I mentioned, lost to Brighton 3-0 at the Amex, and they struggled in the Champions League before that in the week, losing 7-2 to Bayern Munich. I think there's lots of question marks around Mauricio Pochettino, and I think you should keep with him at the moment because he did well. He's a victim of his own success, let's be honest, because nobody expected Tottenham Hotspur to make the Champions League final last season, and in previous seasons I haven't expected them to compete for the title. They've done well the last couple of years with 3rd place and 4th place finishes. I think top 4 consistently is the aim for Tottenham. I think, yes, maybe you'd expect them with the couple of signs this year to be challenging Liverpool and Manchester City for the title. But I think the Champions League defeat took a lot out of the players physically and mentally last season, and they're feeling the effects of that. But I think they should stick with Pochettino. I don't think he's lost the dressing room yet. There was rumours, as I filmed this preview this morning, of Jose Mourinho being potentially sounded out as a replacement if Pochettino decided to go, or Tottenham decided to get rid of him, whichever way you want to call it. I think Mourinho is a good manager. How that would work at Tottenham with his past at Chelsea and Man United, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think Tottenham will win this game 2-0 against a struggling Watford side. Quique Sanchez-Flores got a draw in his first game, but then followed that up with an 8-0 defeat to Manchester City. And last time out, they got a draw with Sheffield United, so they're not really in the greatest of form. So I think Spurs will get the win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, especially with being at home. I think Wolves against Southampton, that's going to be another game where Wolves last time out beat Manchester City 2-0 at the Etihad in a shot scoreline that nobody expected. Adama Traore being in form that game. I think, personally, I'm going to go with Southampton being another one of these teams, a bit like Villa, a bit like Burnley, where they hit and miss. I think they struggle away from home. They struggled on the opening day away to Burnley. They've not really done much this season away from home. They got the points away to Sheffield United, but they were incredibly lucky in that game with Sheffield United having a goal ruled out for offside. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Wolves, because I think that win against Manchester City will have boosted their confidence, and with them not having Europa League football this week and having a chance to the players they had a couple of international duty, but I think to rest and regroup, I think they'll be fine this week. The late kick-off, 5:30, Crystal Palace and Manchester City. Crystal Palace got the win against West Ham last time out. They've done okay. They've done well this season. They've under Roy Hodgson. Everyone expects them to be relegation fodder, but they're keeping ahead of the relegation pack. They've got some good results as well this season. Manchester City last time out losing to Wolves, as I previously mentioned in the prediction for the Wolves game. I think Manchester City will want to bounce back into this game, and I think Palace will face a backlash and City will win 3-1. On to the Sunday, the big game of the weekend for me. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool, the rivalry between the two teams from the East Lancs Road, the history that spans back all those years to do with the shipping canal, the cotton trade. Two cities that don't get along, but this is a big game that encapsulates English football. For me, it's still the biggest game in English football and one of the biggest games in world football. I think Manchester United comes to this game struggling. They've not done so well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season, but I think they should stick with him for now, because I think the problem is throughout the whole club, the players' attitudes are wrong at Manchester United. The boardroom haven't got it right. Solskjaer is just taken job. He got the job, and his previous managerial experience wasn't amazing, being at Molde and Cardiff City, and he hadn't done exactly well. But I think if United give him more time, he could turn it around potentially. Just need to be patient, because they can't keep chopping and changing managers. Whereas Liverpool come into this game on the back of that win against Leicester, that dramatic last-minute James Milner penalty. I touched on what happened in that game in the Leicester score prediction. I think Liverpool will. I know I'm slightly biased because I'm a Liverpool fan, but Liverpool will equal City's a record of 18 Premier League wins in a row. I was going to say 2-1, but with United losing to Gay in a week in goal, I think, Liverpool will score the 2 goals. But United's performance last time out wasn't good enough. They struggled. They've been lacklustre. They lost to Newcastle United 1-0 last time out with Longstaff's goal. They don't look solid defensively, so I'm going to go for 2-0, because they've still got Martial out up front. Rashford's not been on form either, so I'm going to go for 2-0 to Liverpool here. Big prediction there, but that's the biggest game for the weekend. And on to the last fixture, Monday Night Football. Sheffield United against Arsenal. I think Sheffield United did very well the other week at home to Liverpool. We were unlucky to lose 1-0. They did well away at Watford last week in what was a scrappy, difficult game. So 2 weeks ago in what was a scrappy, difficult game, and they come out with a draw. I think Arsenal, not the greatest away from home, but hey, they got the 1-0 win against Bournemouth at home last time out, so that would be confidence boosting, because Bournemouth are very good tactically. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one, because I think Arsenal's away form isn't the greatest, as you saw a few weeks ago at Vicarage Road when they drew 2-2 at Watford after leading 2-0. So I think with Sheffield United's home form and the way they were disciplined as well against Liverpool, and you know how well Liverpool have done this season, top of the league, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Sheffield United and Arsenal. So that's my Premier League predictions for this weekend. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon.